Bill Maher net worth 2024. Salary, investments, and career. Bill Maher is a well-known American comedian, actor, and TV host, boasting a net worth of around $140 million. A significant part of his wealth comes from a smart investment he made in the New York Mets back in 2012. We'll dive into more details about that investment later on. Maher is primarily recognized for his sharp political satire, comedy, and commentary on social issues, which he shares through his HBO talk show, Real Time with Bill Maher. Bill Maher makes $10 million a year for his role on Real Time. William Maher was born on January 20, 1956 in New York City. His dad, also named William, worked as a network news editor and radio announcer, while his mom, Julie, was a nurse. Bill grew up in Rivervale, New Jersey, alongside his sister and graduated from Pascack Hills High School in 1974. He then went on to Cornell University, where he double-majored in English and history. After finishing college in 1978, Maher kicked off his career as a comedian and actor. By 1979, he was hosting at the Catch a Rising Star Comedy Club in New York City. A couple of years later, in 1982, he started making appearances on shows like The Tonight Show with Johnny Carson and David Letterman's Late Show. Maher made his feature film debut back in 1983 with DC Cab. Starting in the mid-'80s, he began popping up in various TV shows in smaller roles, like the sitcom Sarah in 1985, Max Headroom in 1987, and guest spots on Murder, She Wrote in 1989 and 1990, as well as Charlie Hoover in 1991. During this time, he also appeared in films such as Rat Boy in 1986, House 2, The Second Story in 1987, Cannibal Women in the Avocado Jungle of Death in 1988, Newhart in 1988, and Pizza Man in 1991. Plus, he hosted the talk show Midnight Hour on CBS in 1990. Maher really made a name for himself as the host of the late-night political talk show Politically Incorrect with Bill Maher. The show aired on Comedy Central from 1993 to 1997 and then moved to ABC until 2002. Each episode typically kicked off with Maher delivering a monologue on current events, followed by introducing a mix of guests. These guests came from all sorts of backgrounds, including entertainment, politics, literature, and sometimes even news personalities. They would dive into lively discussions about hot topics, making the show a hit. Politically Incorrect garnered a lot of attention and won several awards, like an Emmy for Outstanding Technical Direction, 2 Cable ACE Awards for Best Talk Show Series, and a Genesis Award for Best Television Talk Show. Maher himself received numerous nominations for his work, including 10 Emmy nods and a couple of nominations from TV Guide and the Writers Guild. However, things took a turn after Maher made some controversial remarks just days after the September 11 attacks. This led to a drop in ad revenue as companies like FedEx and Sears pulled their ads. Consequently, ABC chose not to renew his contract, and the show was ultimately canceled on June 16, 2002. In 2003, Bill Maher took on the roles of host, co-producer, and co-writer for the HBO show Real Time with Bill Maher. The 18th season kicked off on January 19, 2020. The show has a vibe similar to Politically Incorrect, but it leans more towards featuring experts like journalists, professors, and politicians rather than a bunch of celebrities. Real Time has done really well over the years, which is clear from its impressive run. It's been nominated for over 10 Primetime Emmy Awards and 6 Writers Guild Awards. As of now, Maher has received more than 40 Emmy nominations and snagged 1 win for Outstanding Informational Series or Special for Vice, which he executive produced back in 2014. In 2005, he was placed at number 38 on Comedy Central's list of the 100 greatest stand-up comedians of all time, and he got a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame in September 2010. Bill Maher isn't just known for his own shows. He's also a familiar face on various cable news channels as a political commentator. He often appears on The Situation Room with Wolf Blitzer on CNN, as well as Hardball with Chris Matthews and The Rachel Maddow Show on MSNBC. Beyond that, he served as an executive producer for the HBO series Vice and teamed up with director Larry Charles to create the documentary Religulous in 2008. Maher has put out 9 comedy specials with HBO, 2 of which earned Emmy nominations, and he's been on the road performing stand-up across the U.S. In March 2022, He kicked off his podcast, Club Random, where he chats one-on-one with guests at his home bar about all sorts of topics, steering clear of politics. In 2012, Maher bought a small share of the New York Mets, owning about 4% of the team, which set him back around $20 million at the time. Fast forward to 2020, and billionaire hedge fund manager Steve Cohen scooped up the Mets for a whopping $2.4 billion. So that 4% stake ended up netting Bill Maher a cool $80 million. Maher has never tied the knot. Back in 2003, he started dating Coco Johnson, a former Playboy cybergirl, and they were together for about 17 months. When their relationship ended, Johnson sued him for $9 million, claiming pain and suffering and alleging that he had promised to marry her. The lawsuit got tossed out in May 2005. He's also been linked to a few other women, like best-selling author and ex-model Karine Steffans, science educator and journalist Cara Santamaria, and singer Anjali Prasad. On the professional side, he's involved with several organizations, serving on advisory boards, including Project Reason, which advocates for science and secular values, and NORML, the National Organization for the Reform of Marijuana Laws. Plus, he's been a board member of PETA since 1997. In January 2020, Bill dropped $1 million on a condo located on Catalina Island, just off the coast of Los Angeles. On the mainland, he has a 3.2-acre estate in the hills above Beverly Hills that he snagged from Ben Affleck back in 2003. That place is probably valued at over $20 million now. Bill Maher, with a net worth of around $140 million, is a successful comedian, TV host, and political commentator. His wealth comes from his long-running HBO show Real Time with Bill Maher, smart investments like his stake in the New York Mets, and his work as an executive producer. Maher's sharp political humor and controversial remarks have made him a prominent figure in both entertainment and politics. In addition to his television career, Maher is involved in various ventures, including producing documentaries and hosting his podcast, Club Random. Despite never marrying, he remains influential in media and activism.